But when you're dealing with complexity, when you're dealing with customer workflows that we deal with and that we're trying to solve, when you're dealing with managing large organizations of people where there's infinite complexity, that's where you need cognitive diversity. The more complex the problem, the more you can benefit from having cognitively diverse, different thinkers on your team. There's so much research that shows this is true, and yet we as human beings have a really hard time embracing ideas that are different from our own. We like harmony. We like people who agree with us. Don't you love to be in a meeting and say something brilliant and have everyone nod their heads and smile and like, yay, Minette, that's great. Yes, I love that, of course. But it actually doesn't serve us well. It doesn't serve us well when everyone agrees with us, because we run a huge danger. And that danger is that we get into groupthink. And groupthink is when we have convinced ourselves we're right because we've surrounded ourselves with people who think like us, and we miss something huge. And if you Google groupthink, you'll read about some disasters that happened because a group of people did not consider an outside perspective. And what about outsiders? What about when you bring in an outsider? What happens then? So there is research that shows that bringing an outsider into an established group improves the performance of that group. And yet at the same time, people feel uncomfortable when you bring someone new in. It disrupts the flow, it disrupts the harmony, but performance goes up and people are able to solve problems and more sophisticated problems with the outsider because they bring a new perspective. And it is actually harder to work that way. It's harder, and yet the work is better. Easier does not mean better work. Easier does not mean more innovative work, and easier does not mean solving the hard problems.